Greetings, my name is Andy, and here's another video for yoga class themes. And we're continuing along our path in the alphabet series, and we have made it to the letter U. Now, there are quite a few words that start with the letter U, and per usual, it was difficult for me to narrow it down, but indeed I did to 3 words in particular. But I wanted to share why it is that I do this thing, why I feel that theming your classes is important. Right? Purpose past the poses, having it be philosophical and physical, less about the shape and more about the sensation. But this is about balance. I think often when it comes to any physical practice, we're very much extrinsically motivated, meaning motivated by what we may look like or how others may perceive us. But the intrinsic motivation or the internal motivation is the longer lasting of the two. Right? How do we feel when we are doing said exercise or physical activity? And how do we feel about ourselves afterwards? Now, we can look for external validation and motivation. And I think, again, there might be a balance there and a tug between the two. But when it comes to theming a class, you are allowing your students and allowing yourself to really make a deeper connection, that it's not just about the physical activity. It's about that mind-muscle connection and bringing more than just the physical pursuit to the practice. That yes, the poses themselves function, and indeed asana being one of the integral 8 limbs of yoga, but there are other aspects at play. So the 3 words that I chose in particular that start with the letter U, and I like this theme of the alphabet because I think it's fun. And I am somebody who is obsessed with words, being a poet, a singer-songwriter, and a speaker, a teacher. All of these things, it's just really motivating for me. I chose the word unite as my first word. My second word is unplug, and my third word is uncover. So first word, unite. This is a big one for yoga, right? Yoga, use, to yoke, to connect, to unite mind, body, and spirit. Again, overarching theme is it's a deeper connection beyond just the one aspect, right? And I think about this like as we are as humans and even on an atomic level, right? You've got the atom. The atom is made of 3 components. You've got your protons with a positive charge, you've got your neutrons with a neutral charge, and you've got your electrons with a negative charge. And ultimately speaking, it is about the dance and the balance between these 3 energies. And so when we think about yoga and the uniting of mind, body, and spirit, when things are out of balance, things tend to get a little bit wonky. And I'm not talking about Willy Wonka, because that would be nothing but fun in a chocolate factory. Now, I'm talking about the fact that when you're just doing something for the physical pursuit of it, and that is it, and there's no other motivation, you may find this lacking. You may find that you're not in balance and this is not in alignment with who you are. So taking a theme like to unite is such a beautiful thing. It's about integration, accepting all parts of ourselves, being aware of all parts of ourselves, and finding that balance between the 3 in this case, which I dare say there's more, but ultimately speaking, the 3. Right? To unite mind, body, and spirit is the point of the practice. It's not just about getting your sweat on and looking good in yoga pants, although added benefit for sure. And for my second word as a theme, this one, unplug. Now, I think back to any issues I'd have with technology, right? Be like, oh, my computer's not working. Oh, you got to contact the IT department, right? Any frustration with any machine ever in Andy's experience of all time. And what would like IT department or anyone in the technical side say? First thing, well, I guess first thing they'd ask, is it turned on? But after that, they'd be like, did you unplug it and plug it back in? Or is it plugged in, right? Ultimately speaking, for something to work right, we need to be able to unplug it and then plug it back in to see whether or not it can reboot itself. Our beautiful phones, our handheld mobile devices, mini computers, ultimately speaking, there does need to be a reset. You do need to turn them off every so often. It can't just be all about the download of data constantly. Yet often I think in our lives, we think about unplugging as like, oh, well, I'm going to scroll on my phone, or I'm just going to watch TV. But you're still getting information from an external source. To fully unplug is to allow yourself the time necessary for you to get in touch with, bump, plot twist, you. So to be able to unplug is a beautiful theme for a yoga class. And whether or not we're asking them to unplug during class, it's no. But do you take the time to transition from, say, a busy work day and then you're about to engage with family and friends? Do you allow for the time for, I don't know, the costume change, right? The scene change? Do you allow for a pause in between so that you can process what has come before and be able to activate and work with what will come? To unplug is a necessary part of our lives as humans on this planet Earth in our sweet little meat suits. So unplugging, super vital. And the IT department is constantly on speed dial for me, meaning, hey, Andy, did you unplug it? Did you unplug yourself today? And take some time to pause, reflect, absorb, and process, not just continually be feeding the beast with information. And for the third word, uncover, right? So I think that sometimes we just want all the answers. We want it to be easy. And we like to think of ourselves as like, I'm always this way. And, I'm a one-dimensional being, like I'm pretty easy. It's like, no, we are multidimensional, multifaceted. We are stories that are being told. As the story unfolds, we uncover more and more about ourselves. And what are we uncovering? Meaning, what was covering us in the first place is our adaptive strategies and the coping mechanisms that we gained and utilized throughout most of our life to be able to process and deal with a lot of the events of our lives, whether they be traumatic or simply just day-to-day misgivings, if you will, right? And so we would build up walls around ourselves and cover ourselves in protective armor. These adaptive strategies, these coping mechanisms, all means to protect ourselves for sure. And as we grow wiser and continue along our journey and path, the hope and the dream is that we start to layer by layer uncover who it is that we truly are without all of the coping mechanisms and protective barriers that we place around ourselves to protect ourselves from the external world. Now, this is something to straight up ask. It's like, what is it that you were discovering about yourself? And what is it that you find is a pattern in your life where perhaps you have a certain trigger or reaction when somebody says something or does something around you? And to kind of discover what it is about yourself that has this reaction. Why do you have this reaction? How do you process the reaction? And whether or not it's that other person needs to change, or is it that your perspective perhaps needs to change, or that you're uncovering more about yourself? And that in yoga, especially in difficult poses, that we really are pressed up against our comfort's edge, and perhaps we are able to confront certain aspects of our personality, and that we can uncover, discover, unveil all of these beautiful things, certain aspects of our personality that have remained hidden to be protected, because those raw, vulnerable, beautiful parts of ourselves may have not been exalted or deemed valuable in our past. Maybe we were put down for them. So can we rediscover those things and uncover those aspects of ourselves and celebrate them in the current existence that we are experiencing on this planet Earth? Now, this has been another video for Yoga Class Themes. I do hope that you've enjoyed this content and that you find it inspiring, and that continuing along this path on the alphabet series, that you take a letter and go, okay, what words start with this letter? And which of these words really speaks to me and I find value in, and that I would like to share with others? If you're liking this content, click like. If you're loving it, please do subscribe. Looking to grow this, because I do believe that theming and bringing meaning and thoughtful storytelling to our physical practice of yoga, or the asana in particular, is a beautiful thing. Until next time, many blessings.